Lisa Kreisinger from Refinery 29, and I am here with Busy Phillips, who just wrote this amazing book, This Will Only Hurt a Little.
I didn't just write it.
I
wrote it a while ago. But it just came out.
And she's going to answer all of our questions, collectively. If you have a question, put it in. We're going to address it. I also have a lot of questions here I'm going to ask. Busy, we'll be signing books.
Yeah, buy the book and you can get it signed by me. Look, you can watch me sign it. I just did it.
And it's yours.
It's
at
yours.
premiercollectibles.com/busy.
That's right.
All right, Busy, ready?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So your book has been described as heartfelt, refreshing, and honest. It's obviously a memoir.
Yep.
But I'm curious, in your own words, how would you describe the book? Would you agree with those?
Sure. When I set off, I knew I wanted to write autobiographical essays, and that was my intention. But I didn't want to just do like funny, like humorous essays. Like I wanted to make it, I don't know, I just wanted to go a little bit deeper into things that I have been through in my life and sharing like the full expanse of my story. And so, he worked in Hollywood for 20 years, so there's a lot of that stuff, but then there's a lot of stuff that happened before that happened.
Yeah. And you're so honest about
Thanks.
that life. I'm wondering, like, did you give anybody a heads up? Did you have to give anybody a heads up? Did you feel like obligated to give anybody a heads up that you were exposing or talking about that side of things?
The hardest thing for me was like the conversations with family, which I had. But there's that great Anne Lamott saying that, if people wanted you to write about them more warmly, they should have treated you better. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Love it. Okay. Has anybody reached out and been like, what the fuck?
A little bit. Yeah. I have gotten a few. But I think as women, we have a thing that we're sort of taught to do, which is to hold on to things, and then beyond that to to apologize for making someone else uncomfortable when they've hurt you. And I feel like a lot of what I have decided we need to do in order to like change culturally right now in this moment is that as women we need to like let go of that. So my response a few times has been, I'm sorry that I'm not sorry. I understand you're trying to make me feel badly about writing an incident where you treated me poorly, but I reject that. Like I don't feel badly about talking about your bad behavior. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know.
No, that's a great cultural shift to make, even just internally.
Yes, exactly.
Psychologically.
I think that there's even like my showrunner Casey and I talk about on our show because Busy Tonight, which airs October 28th on E, it premieres and then it's 4 nights a week.
That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
No, it's Sunday through Wednesday. It's Sunday through Wednesday. You can watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians and then stay tuned in Sunday nights and watch Busy Tonight before you have to go back to work on Monday. And then we'll get
Sunday through Wednesday.
Yeah, Sunday through Wednesday. But she and I were talking about just in terms of like dealing with a business and a conglomerate like Universal and E, and as women, the tendency to apologize when you're asking for things and like letting go of that. Like we're not saying, oh, I'm sorry, we would like, it's like, this is what we need, this is what we would like. Like, please, let's figure out how to make that happen. You have you have a female-led company.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
It is. And it's hard to ask for things. No matter what, it just feels wrong. But in order to do your job really well and do the show you wanted to make, you needed to ask for things.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I want to talk about Busy Tonight just for a quick second. What? So you're part of kind of an exclusive group of women who are in late night.
Yeah.
It's a position that not many women have had. Joan Rivers, Sam Bee, Robin Thede, Sarah Silverman. How do you think that your show is changing late night TV, and where do you see your show kind of in the canon of female late night hosts?
Well, I don't know if it will change late night TV because we haven't premiered yet, but I do know that part of what was important for me why I felt like it was important for me to do this show was that I did feel like there need to be more female voices represented in late night. And, you know, and I a little bit had that moment of like, why not me? You know? So, I think that the thing I've been doing press, you know, for this whole week, and I think I keep getting asked the question like, how will your show be different? How will your show be different? And I guess the easiest and most succinct answer that I can give is because it's me. Yeah. You know, because I am who I am, and you'll tune in hopefully and see what I have to say and how I relate to guests and how I talk to people, and that inherently is just going to be different than what you're going to get from a dude.
Totally. And
you know?
Most of those shows aren't them either. Like, the show is you and your voice and your perspective.
Right.
On a lot of late night shows, it's an inherited franchise. So you kind of have to follow the script.
Right. And we've done a really, like, we've been very particular and hands-on about everything, like about what the set looks like, what I'm wearing, how my hair and makeup is gonna look like, what I'm gonna look like, the kinds of topics we want to talk about and the way that we want to deal with them. You know, I'm just very interested in keeping it positive and light hearted in many ways. Like I don't want to be, I'm not a snarky person, and I don't want to be like ever mean. Like I would never want to do that on a show. So just figuring out like how you do that kind of balance and what that looks like, I guess.
Well, I've been following your writers on Instagram.
They're
like
so fun.
A lot of fun just to be in the writers room.
Love them. Yes.
It's so much fun.
It is super fun.
Okay, back to the book. So you're obviously loved for your acting roles, Freaks and Geeks, Dawson's Creek, obviously just to name a few, but you are also everybody's favorite Instagram stories star, including myself.
Oh, thanks.
I love when you do your workouts. It's heated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're heated. It's heated, like...
That's not my real question.
Infrared. Yeah. It's
infrared heat.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you sweat a lot.
I sweat so much.
Lighting wise, you look great in them. Like
Thank
I put my phone down to do a similar. You can't replicate that what she does.
It's really magical.
It's
really
magical. It is magical.
It is funny though. Sometimes like I'll see. Well, a lot of times people have come to the class and stopped me after or before to let me know that the reason why they're there is because of my Instagram. Oh yeah. Or like, we're from Michigan and we're here. We're here for a bachelorette weekend, and we had to come to this class because of your Instagram, which is really funny. But yeah, I always have to ask like the girls working out behind me if they're okay with it.
I was gonna ask if you did bring a waiver.
I don't bring a waiver, but I do ask them if it's okay.
That's so
like
nice
if they're
of
all right
you.
with it. Yeah.
You are. Not that we doubted that you were nice, but you were just saying how you're not snarky. And like, you're so kind-hearted. That is so nice.
Oh, I would never want to, like, also, you know, like those, like the idea of like, you know, passenger shaming or shaming people in public. Like, I get very uncomfortable about that. Like, I would never. I'm also, you know, I put my own children on my social media. It's a choice I've made with my husband and our kids, and like I'm totally down with anyone else's choice that they make for their kids, whether you're in the public eye or not. But I am 100%. I will never post someone else's child unless the parent gives me like permission. Yeah, unless we've discussed it and they have permission. There are a few of Birdie's friends who the parents are like, it's totally fine. You can post pictures of my kid with Birdie. If
they have like a bracelet on.
They have a bracelet identifying them as
okay
media. For Instagram.
Right.
I'm like, great.
All right, so I was going to ask you before I got sidelined by the workout, which is, I just think about literally all the time. I take a video from that angle. You make it look so good and so easy. But did you anticipate being an author? Did you anticipate being a social media celebrity?
No, because I couldn't have anticipated the social media thing because like no one even knew what it was. You know what I mean? So like I didn't think about it in terms of like, this is going to be the thing that everyone finally like turns on for me, you know, like
you're just being yourself. And
after working for 15 years in the entertainment industry, like it's going to be this thing. I had no idea. But as far as writing, I've always been a writer, and I've always worked on stuff and essays and written things and bad poetry back in the day.
Which we'll read right now. No.
Lots of, you
We'll
guys,
read
I
the
brought
next
it.
segment.
I brought it. But and so I was sort of waiting for the right time for the book, and then it felt like the right time. It really felt like the right time, and I think it was. I think this was the right time.
Why do you think it was the right time?
Well, because I think a little bit like my book is, putting forth a lot of ideas about what it is to be a woman right now in this time, and what it's been for me to be a woman growing up in this time, and or coming of age in this time, and the things that I experienced and went through, and things that were sort of perpetrated on me, and how that affected me, and how it changed me, and how I tried to work within like a certain construct. And then my coming to the point where, it's all cumulative, and where I came to the point where it was just like boiled over and I couldn't deal with it anymore, and I had it. And that sort of coincided a little bit with all of the shift that we're seeing in the past, I would say a little over a year, in terms of like Time's Up and Me Too. And I think collectively there's just been this shift in consciousness, especially for women, where in this country where, we're just at the end of the proverbial rope of the way that it's been acceptable for us to be treated under the, this sort of like patriarchal construct that like has always existed.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that too much for a live signing? I don't know, guys.
No, not at all. We can double down on that too if you want. But it is, I think that this concept of authorship really runs through your work, and is kind of such a radical idea for women, because women aren't supposed to be authors of their own stories. And you have found a way to make your true self and your voice accessible to people, and people relate to it. Like, people relate to you, and they tune into your Instagram stories, and obviously they buy your book. They want to hear from you. They want to hear your side of things.
It was really interesting. Like, I've been reading a lot of the DMs that people have been sending me all day today on Instagram, and a woman stopped me on the street in Soho, and she said, I'm so sorry, I just had to stop you. I read your entire book yesterday from start to finish, and I like cried the whole time. I related to it so deeply, and I just wanted to thank you for writing it and putting it into the world. I started crying, of course, obviously, because I'm me. But the DMs of women sharing their own personal stories, and they're, relating to feelings and marriage struggles, and what it is to be a good mother and a wife, and the expectations of that, and work, and trying to fit in but not ever feeling like you do. Like, all of these things that I wanted to get across, and I thankfully think I got across.
Yeah, definitely. I loved it. This is my advanced copy, advanced uncorrected proof, dog-eared, and has notes all over it.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, so obviously this requires you, writing a memoir and writing, I guess, in general, requires you to go pretty deep on personal stuff. Were there challenges that you faced while writing it? Did you have like a therapist on speed dial that you were like, help me work through this so I can write about it?
Yeah, I have a therapist. I had worked through a lot of it before, especially like the teen stuff, like before I even started this.
Okay.
And
see, that's what makes you feel so grounded, because you have worked through it. It's not like you're processing it now,
right,
as you're writing it.
And I thought, like, for some of it was very important in terms of how I wrote about it, to be just incredibly straightforward, and to not actually, like, especially when I talk about the rape at 14, that to not be like, I really didn't want it to read as over dramatic, or like I was like trying to pull some sort of heartstrings or make it super emotional. It was just like, this is a situation as it presented itself. This is how I dealt with the situation, and this is the fallout from that situation for every year since then, you know? And yeah, so that was important to me, to try to figure out a way to write about these things. And I think that only by having that kind of distance and having had processed and dealt with it, was I able to have the perspective in order to write about them in those terms, like write about those situations in those terms, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
but I did get emotional. When I was writing, I got a little emotional in certain parts. I got really emotional writing about when my best friend Emily Beebe's boyfriend died, like when he passed away. It was really hard for me to write about that because I had my own feelings of guilt and like that I had let my best friend down, and that was really, even though it's been 15 years now, that was still really difficult for me. Yeah. And when I read the audiobook, I cried a few times, which is, enjoy that, guys.
Yes.
If you get the audiobook.
A great, if you want a signed copy of the audiobook, I'm just kidding.
No.
But premiercollectibles.com/busy if you want a signed copy of
I'm signing them right now. These ones.
That's what's going to come
be
to you.
What you get.
Yes. Okay, so the responses have been obviously great so far. Did you learn anything about yourself while writing it? Or like learn anything about being a writer? Like you were on a deadline?
I learned that I learned all the things I already knew, which was that I am a procrastinator. I will do anything before I will do the work that I have to do.
How'd you deal with that?
I just I just had to suck it up at a certain point and just work as hard as I could. And, I don't know. I had no choice. The book needed to be finished. I wrote it definitely in fits and spurts because I was also, this is not my obviously full-time job. And I had other jobs that I was working on simultaneously. So I didn't find that when I was filming I Feel Pretty in Boston, first of all, that time was really tough because Mark was working all the time. Our girls were displaced because they were in a different city and they were all what's happening? Where are our friends? We're miserable. And I was working on the movie and I wasn't very productive. I thought for sure I would get more accomplished while I was doing that movie, and I didn't while we were in Boston, and I just didn't. I never found a spot in Boston that I really liked to write.
Yeah.
It was important to me to feel a good vibe when I was writing.
Yeah, and you didn't feel it in Boston.
I couldn't find it anywhere. I couldn't find it.
No, I'm just kidding. I know, it's hard. Boston's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard. Any advice for writers who are writing memoirs or comedic essays or writing about their lives?
To me, I do feel especially right now, sort of culturally, and I think this does have a lot to do with social media, but people can tell a phony, and so if you're not being truthful, it's not going to be good. And that was one of the things I ran into at the end of the book, which was that are those sirens annoying to you guys? Can you hear them? Listen. It's chill. Yeah. Anyway, was that I was having a really hard time ending the book, and I think that part of the reason why I was having a hard time ending it was because I wasn't being very truthful with where I was actually at in my personal life. And I had been so truthful in every other part, all of the things that I had sort of processed and dealt with. But when it came to the actuality of where I was at, and in order to end the book, I was just basically lying. I kept writing these things that were just dumb. They didn't have any teeth to them. They had it just didn't work. And then I had the realization and decided to cut open that vein too.
How did you do that and process that stuff and then write about it? That's a lot. When you're at your desk and you're like, oh, fuck, I have to like deal with this stuff and then come back. It's it's like another job.
Yeah.
To deal with it and get honest.
I guess so. I guess once I decided, and truly like the last chapter of my book might actually be my favorite chapter. But I don't know. They're kind of like children. I don't know if I can really pick a favorite, but I really do like the last chapter of my book. And I think that once I really just made the decision and I let it sort of like roll around in my head for a minute, I knew where it was going to start. I just could see it. Like I just knew where it was going to start, and I knew what I was going to talk about and how I was going to talk about it. And then it just kind of like flowed. I just like finished it pretty quickly.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you have written a book. You're an executive producer and host of a late night television show. How do you stay creative in that? How do you not get overwhelmed? Because you don't know.
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I feel kind of overwhelmed. There's scream crying involved.
Okay.
Which like I'm a big proponent of. Just like you need a pillow and then you can just scream and cry, but be careful that you don't break blood vessels in your eyes because then that just doesn't look good. Is that too real?
It doesn't. No. It could be also a new look, like the cat eye.
Very cathartic.
Yeah.
To
okay.
scream cry. No, I mean, I'm trying to just like keep it all in perspective anyway, like, which I think I've had a good, lead up to this particular moment in my life and career. So it doesn't seem like that difficult for me to keep it in perspective. Awesome. I'm also like just so aware that everyone could decide tomorrow that they're like not interested, and that would be, and they'd be on to the next thing, and I'd be like, okay,
right,
I guess, all right,
yeah,
it was a nice run,
right, right,
oh well,
right. And have you in writing this book and going deep into your own personal story, making your show, have there been parts of you that you find like that you don't like, or like sometimes I'll see pictures of myself, I'm like, oh my god, I look horrible, or like they just self-hatred starts to seep in when you maybe I'm projecting,
maybe,
but I'll send this to my
that's
therapist.
Okay.
But are there internal struggles that you're having or that you're seeing, like, oh, that's interesting, that's coming up while you're dealing with all of this?
Wait, I'm gonna sneeze.
Bless you. Bless
oh my
you.
gosh, we tell my daughter, my little one Cricket, you know that video where the panda sneezes and it like freaks the mom out? Have you seen that viral video?
Not.
Like, is it the baby panda that sneezes and the mom like freaks out? Well, I guess, I don't know, like that video must have come out when Cricket was like 2, or she's 5 now. And whenever she sneezes, it sounds like a baby panda. And so now every time anyone sneezes, I just think of my own daughter and the baby panda. Anyway, sorry. I digress.
No,
baby
that's
panda
okay.
sneezes.
We're gonna go to some audience questions.
Okay.
Are you ready? These are questions that people submitted earlier. If you guys have a question, make sure you submit it. We'll be taking them live. So Bryant from Hartsville, South Carolina says, Cougar Town is my wife and I's favorite show. Was it as fun on set as it looks on camera?
Yes. Yeah, we had the best time. It was so fun, and I write about it in the book, so you can pick it up. Brian.
You can read Brian.
And
read about it.
You and your wife will enjoy it. Yeah, it was super fun. We loved each other.
Oh, good. Jenna from Minneapolis, Minnesota wants to know how your nasal passages are feeling.
Well, if you've been following the journey, you know. They feel okay. Actually, today I just told my publicist I forgot my neti pot, and I was like, oh God, I can feel it like a little bit on my right side. But then I took a bunch of vitamins and I think I'm better. If I stay away from gluten, I now know from the Ayurvedic thing, I had the surgery and it didn't really work. And then I did the Ayurvedic diet. If I stay away from wheat and gluten and no cheese, no dairy, I'm pretty good to go. And also alcohol is a bummer, and that sucks for me. So I need to cool it a little bit with the alcohol.
Is tequila gluten-free?
It
That's
is.
Like the go-to,
yeah,
right?
it is, but it's not, it's just about inflammation. So I think that like alcohol inflames your body.
Right.
And so I think that's the thing.
Okay.
I had wine the other night with Michelle because she only likes to drink wine, which I get. I really like wine too, but it really inflames my nose. So,
I know.
But I'll take one for the team. When your best friend is like, we're getting a bottle of rosé, I'm like, okay, let's do that.
Love it.
Yeah.
Did you guys have fun?
We had the best time. She did. She like moderated a book talk for me in Brooklyn, and it was honestly, I'm sorry you guys weren't there. It was like truly magical. It was one of my favorite nights of all time.
Oh, good.
It was like truly magical.
Yeah. And people were waiting for you outside, I saw.
Yeah, that was a bummer. There was some sort of kerfuffle that I had nothing to do with, obviously. Like, I don't understand any of this stuff. Like, this makes no sense to me, but books, you know what I mean? I don't know. But, and so they had like oversold the event. The event couldn't hold the people. The fire marshal said they couldn't have chairs. So everyone so it was just like a poorly run situation that was not, I had nothing to do with. We don't know.
Well, people looked very happy to see you outside. That's all I saw.
Yes, they didn't get to come inside, but
got it. I didn't realize how that.
There were like 50 people who ended up not being able to come in.
Well, it looked like a great event.
It was so fun.
It looked so much fun.
Yeah.
I'm jealous I wasn't there. All right, so Sarah from Victoria, British Columbia wants to know, what's your favorite comfort movie? And favorite is spelled with a U because she's from British Columbia.
I love that. And they just made pot legal in Canada. So congratulations, Sarah.
Sarah's having a good day.
I love The Pelican Brief.
Classic. A classic.
I'm obsessed with the Pelican Brief. Anytime it's on, I'm going to watch it. I truly love my husband's first movie, Never Been Kissed. And it plays a lot like on cable.
Yeah.
And so if it's on, we definitely watch it. Like, well, he doesn't, but I by we, I mean me. I'm like, I definitely watch it.
Yeah.
And then what's another comfort movie? I'm trying to think. I don't know why the Pelican Brief is like very soothing to me, but it just is. I love it.
Do you watch it if Dawson's Creek comes on? Do you watch it?
No. But I've never seen it. Maybe I'm just like not flipping around at that time. I don't ever see it on.
Right.
I would probably stop and check it out for sure. I just was doing an interview. I don't know. I've been doing a million interviews, and they played a clip from Dawson's Creek, and I could not, like, my mind was blown. Like, I couldn't believe it. I look like such a baby.
Oh.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But you had fun. That was a positive experience. And you met Michelle. And
I met Michelle, yeah. Yeah, the experience was mixed. I write about it in the book.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
you should check
you
it
can
out.
read more about it in Busy's book. Get a signed copy at premiercollectibles.com/busy. Okay, let's see. Linda from El Paso, Texas, if you could do one thing professionally for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Well, I guess like if it were easy and didn't break my damn heart, it would be acting, because that's what I love to do. It's truly like my passion in life. But it is so mired in so many other things. And that's why I'm sort of like pivoting and doing a little bit of a different thing now, because it just, after 20 years of doing it professionally, was just like too much heartbreak. And I have 2 kids. Like, I can't be, down for a week. I can't take to my bed for a week, sobbing hysterically when my pilot doesn't get picked up, or when I screen test for a huge movie that I don't get. You know what I mean? So it just hit a point where I just hit a wall. And if I lived in New York and like could do theater, I probably would have done that. But that also is not a viable option for me, because I have like an entire life in Los Angeles.
Yeah. Right.
So.
Right. Okay. Emily from Frederick, Maryland says, has music always been a huge part of your life? Do you remember the first time a song inspired you?
Yeah, music's always been a huge part of my life. Probably, and for those of you who haven't gotten the book yet and you're buying it right now and getting a signed copy at premiercollectibles.com/busy, or /busy, not backslash. Is that a backslash? No, that's just a slash.
It's just a slash.
premiercollectibles.com/busy. Anyway, every chapter in my book is a song title and an artist that sort of is pertinent to the time in which I'm writing about, and also like the overall vibe. And they're all songs that I love. So it's a little mixtape.
It is.
For you. And
like whole live
through this.
Live through this.
Whole live through this. Yeah.
Yes.
So the first time a song inspired me, I don't know. I remember I write about this in the book. Like I remember like songs like saving my life. Like the first time a song saved my life is Tori Amos, and it was the Little Earthquakes album.
So good.
Yeah, and it really like saved my little 14-year-old soul. And this band called Red House Painters, Songs for a Blue Guitar, that album too. And I was 14. Although then that guy ended up to be problematic and kind of a dick, so now I don't listen to his music anymore.
They all do.
Well, they're like 5. This was the first time, and actually it's really interesting, but this was the first time that I remember, I don't know if it was 5 years ago, but I remember reading this kind of like expose about that guy and about how misogynistic and horrible he was to this female music reporter that was trying to interview him. And I was just like, you know what? I don't need to listen to your music. It's not that good.
Yeah.
Like it's not, I don't need to support you in that way.
Right.
If that's the kind of person you are.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So Tori Amos, still good, obviously. Still good. Classic. Did Hole play a big part?
Hole played a big part in like helping me to channel my rage. And I listened to punk when I was a kid. It was the 90s, so I listened to punk. I liked like aggressive music because I had a lot of things that I was upset about, angry about, had a lot of rage. I still have a lot of rage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. All right, what's Yvette from West Covina, California? What is your memory? What's your memory from your childhood? Maybe what is
it's
your...
just all in here, guys.
It's all written.
Yvette, I love the question. Buy the book. You're gonna find out.
Maureen from Port Angeles, Washington. Will you write, produce, and/or direct a show or movie, please? A question mark. Three question marks. Your brand of feminism is so easy to relate to that I feel like a show about a young actress in that context needs to be told.
Well, Maureen,
3 exclamation points.
I'm doing my late night talk show, which premieres October 28th at 10 p.m. on E, and it'll be 4 nights a week. And
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
That's correct. And I'm very, I'm producing it and starring on it, I guess. What do you call it when you're the host? I'm a host. I'm hosting.
An executive producer.
I'm an executive producer and I'm hosting it. I'm creating the show. And I am trying to imbue it with some of my brand of feminism because I don't think that there's any other way for me to be. I do think that the stories that are being told we're going to see a shift in those things, especially as sort of like the changing of the guards in terms of the people that are in control of these networks and conglomerates and green lighting the shows that you then get to your television. Like, I think we'll see more women and stories from, with diversity being told in the next 5 years. I really do believe that to be true. So
would you go on to do more written, like non-fiction-y stuff, not TV, but like would you write a movie or a TV show? Here's the thing. I'm talking with a friend of mine about like selling a movie pitch. I've had an experience with a screenplay previously on my life. That story is in the book. But I don't know if I want to write a screenplay. I don't know if it interests me. It's what my husband does too. So yeah.
Not that is like I can't do it as well, but I don't know if my brain works like that structurally. I mean,
yes, yeah.
It's different. It's just a different. It's a different skill set. So I'm really I really can wrap my head around like story and character and things like that, but like structure of screenplays is hard for me to, and television shows, like that kind of thing, like beating things out by the acts and making sure, like I don't know about that. I don't know who she is. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, who is she? I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you.
But I can tell you what she should be, and then can you do that?
Right. A ghost screenwriter.
Yeah. Well, no, you can do you can come up with stories and produce things and hire writers and things like that. Yeah.
All right, so Allison from Broomfield, Colorado wants to know, how do you deal with living so far from your best friend, Michelle?
Well, it's very easy now, Allison, because of technology. So there's FaceTime and phone calls and emails and all of those things. And she and I are both really lucky because of what we do. And I know that is true. I understand, that we both travel back and forth from LA and New York for our jobs. So we do end up seeing each other quite a bit. Like, I see her more than I see like my best friend from high school who lives in Arizona. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's, we make it work. We see each other quite a bit.
Yeah, that's great. That takes, I mean, obviously you guys are in the same career or whatever, but it takes work to maintain a friendship.
It does.
That long. It is a relationship. It's a relationship. She's called you the love of her life.
I know. She's the love of my life too. I love her.
That's
I love her so much.
Amazing to find a female friendship. A friendship. Who cares what their gender is?
I have a few of them.
It's
I'm
amazing.
Really lucky.
Yeah, you are lucky. I'll take one.
Okay.
A half of one. I'll take a quarter. Okay, how did you and Mark meet? Sydney from Camac Village, Arkansas wants to know.
Well, Sydney,
it's in the book. We are flying through these. All right, favorite Friends episode from Sarah in Eastchester, New York. Also, can you somehow work doing Friends commentary into a segment on Busy Tonight? I realize the show ended 14 years ago, but come on, we're all still watching.
I think we should do a segment where we change some of the problematic Friends things that because there's some weird, there's weird homophobia or there is some weird stuff that of the time was okay, but like now you look back on it and you're like, yeesh, like that's a storyline that he doesn't want Ben playing with a Barbie doll. Ooh, that makes me feel weird.
Yeah,
they do like a lot of
hold up.
It does, that part doesn't. There are some things that don't hold up in that respect, but you know that I'm the hugest Friends fan. So I would have to say the one where Ross flirts is like probably one of my favorites. If you don't know, this like pizza delivery girl is coming to like, and Ross has a crush on her, and he and Rachel have like broken up. I tend to really not like a lot of Ross and Rachel breaking up stuff. Yes. No, I think Ross is my favorite character. Controversial, I know, but I'm obsessed with him. He makes me laugh harder. Like, I don't know. I go through periods of time. Like, it used to be Joey. But the stuff with Joey and Rachel when they tried to smush them together, like, I'll never forgive them for. But anyway, so Ross tries to flirt with this pizza delivery woman, and it is amazing.
Amazing. Love it.
I love
it. Yeah. All right. So what are some of the best things or actions that help you when you're feeling intense anxiety? From Cecilia in Austin, Texas.
Hi, Cecilia. Okay, well, a few things. Number one, I use CBD, which is like from pot, basically, for anxiety now, which really helps.
This might be a stupid question, but like you eat it, you put it on.
I eat CBD. Okay. Yeah, I have.
Like in a gummy.
I have a couple of different. I have a tincture that is like, you can buy it anywhere because it's not. That's not, it doesn't have THC in it, which is what's illegal. So the CBD like drops and stuff you can buy. Yeah, I have gummies and I have drops. Okay. So I take the CBD and it doesn't like mess you up. You're not high, but it like really calms me down. I like find that if I give voice to whatever it is that I'm having intense anxiety about, and generally it'll be to Mark, although sometimes it'll be to like Jenny Connor or like like Michelle or like a close girlfriend of mine or Jen Gotch, like somebody that I know is like a safe person for me to call and say the thing that I'm having the most anxiety about in that moment. Like sometimes just releasing that makes it kind of dissipate a little bit, because sometimes I think what happens with anxiety is like you're like spinning in your brain and you have this thing that you're like, oh, this is the thing and this thing is going to happen and oh my God. And then as soon as you say it out loud, you hear how ridiculous it is and that it's not a possibility. And so then it like releases the whole thing from you, right? Yeah. But I can't take prescription drugs anymore because I just was like, they knock me out and I have two little girls. Like I can't be like a drugged out like zombie. Like even though it feels really good to take like a Xanax or an Ativan, still that's in my medicine cabinet, like last resort okay. If I'm really like in a place where I can't like control my emotions and I really can't get in control of it.
So Cecilia, if you're taking notes, it's CBD tinctures and then a lozenge or a gummy, all legal and available for purchase. And number 2, call someone.
Yeah, like give voice to your fears, your anxiety, like say it out loud. Maybe, I don't know, maybe even say it out loud to yourself.
Yeah,
if you
or
don't
write it out. Write it out maybe.
And deep breaths. Working out every day. Getting like intense cardio in like helps alleviate some of those feelings.
And then 4, last ditch resort
for me is like a prescription drug that my doctor has prescribed for me for my anxiety disorder.
Cool. I feel like we really I learned a lot. Thank you. I'm gonna get that tattooed on me. All right, Missy from Hilo, Hawaii asks. Hilo. What is your why at this point in your life?
My why?
Yeah, it's a bit of a philosophical one from Hawaii.
Hawaii. My husband always makes fun of the way that I say Hawaii because I say it correctly. But my mom lived there. My parents lived there when they were first married, and so that's how she always said it, so that's how I say it. Anyway, what is my why at this point in my life? You know, I think that I'm incredibly driven by the feeling that to steal from my friend Phoebe Robinson, whose book just came out the same day as mine, like everything's trash. So if everything's trash, the only thing that I can do is put something good into the world and help to try to make it less trash. And so that is part of the impetus for why I decided to go where I went with this book. It's the impetus for why I wanted to do a late night talk show and be the host of it. It's everything is sort of, my why is like driven by sort of a feeling of I want to be a part of a greater good and help change the world and push it in the right direction, or what I think the right direction is, which I'm not wrong because I'm always right.
Love it. And so you mentioned like you're friends with Phoebe Robinson. You mentioned you call Jenny Connor, and like you have a bunch of Jen Gotch. You have a bunch of really awesome, cool, creative, supportive women in your life.
Yes.
This is from Elisa Kreisinger sitting right next to you. This question was just submitted.
Yes. Hi.
How did you find? How did you find your people? How did you find those women? How did you find your tribe to support you?
It's like not a thing that happens overnight, obviously, and it happens slowly, and you have to make an effort to do that, and you have to be open to people and be willing to be open to people, and especially I think in my industry, it's getting, I would say in the last year, especially with like Time's Up and all these women coming forward and sharing their stories, like everyone was sort of like, and this is a little bit what I'm going to get to about the book, like as women, I feel like we have done this, or we have been taught this thing where we're like sort of existing in a vacuum, like where we're solitary, and you like hold all this stuff in, and you're just like, this is your vacuum. And I think that once women start sharing their stories, they're like, wait, you too? Because me too. And I don't even just mean hashtag me too, like but
sharing in general,
but for sure that as well, and so I think that especially in the last like 5 years, for me personally, I've just been like very open to the women that I've met in my life, and in sharing with them and listening to what they have to share with me, and offering like a safe space. Like being aware, especially because I have 2 girls, like I started to be very aware with how I would speak about other women in the house. Like even we were just like, I don't know, just being kind of bitchy about, but I don't want that lesson to go to my girls, that's how we talk about other people, but especially other women, And so I think that like once I started to have that shift, and then just was like open, just very open. And like saying to someone, like putting yourself out there, like saying to someone like, I really respect you. I really like you so much. Like, can we hang out?
Right.
What is she gonna say?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no.
Well, I'm gonna take that clip out of context and use that as a trailer for getting friends. No, that's great. Thank you. I think so many women wrestle with that, and that's something that so much of our audience tries to figure out. Like, how do you, especially after 30, like, how do you make friends? How
Jen Gotch is like one of my best friends, and she truly like I've just met her 2 years ago, and like we've become such tight friends. Jenny Connor and I have known each other since Undeclared is when we met. So that was like 17 years ago. But really like in the last year, we've become so tight, and like, and I think that it's about like being open to putting yourself out there, to saying like, hey, I need you in my life.
Being vulnerable.
I like feel like I need you in my life.
Yeah, love it.
Even like my best friend from high school, Kate, who lives in New Jersey, and she's like, she has a job and she's got 2 kids, and she just like a few months ago, she started doing like a yoga teacher training for herself, like so you can do that. And then she's like, you know what I want to do? I want to start like a women's group, like a heart circle where women can come. And she just put up a flyer, and like put out a thing. And they've got like 10 women, and they meet once every 2 weeks and like share. And she just put herself out there in that way. And it could have hurt her. She could have like no one could have showed up, but like people showed up, and women showed up, and they now are all supporting each other, and like so stuff like that is so cool.
Yeah, that is so cool. I also just moved to New Jersey. I'm gonna look her up.
Oh yeah,
I can
you
be
said.
part of her heart circle. That's so interesting. I think especially like when we get older and as we age, how do we form those relationships?
Right.
In like new places.
I think you have to
New
be,
Jersey.
but I also think like you have to be willing to go deep. Like I think you have to be willing to be vulnerable and go deep, like in a way that freaks a lot of people out, because I think that we get
yes. It's like too much flooding.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think we get to this place like when you meet new women, especially where you're like, I'm great. Yeah, my husband's amazing. Like we're great. My family is great. Everything's great. My career is great.
Right.
And if you like drop it for 2 seconds, someone is going to like, respond.
Right.
Do we sell these books or what?
So as you do some book signings, I'm going to ask you 22 questions in 2 minutes.
Okay,
they're going to be rapid fire. Mm-hmm. They're going to be easy. A lot of them are going to be in the book.
Can I say pass?
Sure.
Okay.
All right. And if they're in the book, you can say it's in the book.
It's in the book.
It's
By the book.
Option. By the book. Okay. Ready. All right. Timer's up. Okay. Where were you born?
Oak Park, Illinois. It's also in the book.
Who would you want to play you in a movie?
I don't know. Lady Gaga?
Okay. What was your first job?
I worked at, babysitting was like my first job. That's like everybody's first job.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. Second, after babysitting.
I worked at the Body Shop. Like
Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. Okay.
Selling lotions over Christmas. I was extra Christmas help.
Love it. Okay. What is your biggest fear?
I mean, I have two. I don't know. I have too many.
Yeah, really.
I don't know.
Good, great answer. Who makes you laugh the most?
I mean, my biggest fear is so fucking dark. You guys don't want to hear it.
It is not.
It's not. Signing. It's like truly like not. That's like a crazy question to ask someone who like suffers from anxiety anyway. Because now I'm going to be thinking about it.
Right. Now you're like, well, what is the biggest? I need to rank them.
I know what it is, but anyway, I don't want to say it out loud.
Who makes you laugh the most?
Who makes me laugh the most?
Yeah.
I mean, probably my daughters. They're just like so insane.
Okay, what is the one thing that you need to have in your fridge at all times?
I don't know. I mean, nothing. We're just like, milk for Cricket.
Okay.
Just for Cricket likes milk.
Yeah.
Still, she's 5 and she still loves her like milk. It's so cute. She's such a kid. I can't take it.
Oh, that's so sweet.
She's like, I would really like some milk, please. I was like, okay.
What is your greatest accomplishment?
Probably writing this book. Having my kids, writing this book. I mean, it all goes together.
Yeah,
it's
birthing
things. My greatest accomplishment is birthing things.
Yeah, whether they be creative or living.
Yeah, you can read about my natural vaginal childbirth in my book.
It's in the book. Hashtag it's in the book. I kind of like that.
It's in the book.
Okay, who is the most interesting person you met recently?
Oh, I mean, hold on, let me think. I don't know. I don't know. I meet so many interesting people. Oh, DeRay McKesson.
Oh, interesting.
Do you know who he is? He's an author and activist. He started Black Lives, or he didn't start Black Lives Matter, but he's very big in the Black Lives Matter movement. And he did the protests in Ferguson.
Yep.
He wears the vest.
The Patagonia vest. Yes.
Yeah, and he wrote a beautiful book called The Other Side of Hope. Mm-hmm. Is it The Other Side of Hope?
And he does a lot of speaking and talking.
Speaking engagements, and I went to one of his speaking engagements, and it was
community organizing.
Community organizing, exactly. He's a community organizer and an activist and an author and an all-around amazing human who also is trying to change the world.
Cool. Awesome answer. Okay, what is your middle name?
Okay, my middle name doesn't work with Busy because, my given name was Elizabeth Jean Phillips. Mm-hmm. But Busy Jean, it just sounds like Busy Jean was not my lover. So I can't do it.
Right.
So I just don't think of myself as having a middle name with Busy. I either think of it as Elizabeth Jean or Busy Phillips.
Does your mom call you Elizabeth Jean?
Well, not anymore, no. I mean, only when I was little and, when I was in trouble.
Yeah, classic. Okay. What is the last book you read?
Oh, Phoebe Robinson's book that was out yesterday.
Great.
Too.
Love it. Also, you can buy
Everything's trash, but it's okay.
Everything's trash. What is your favorite hobby?
My favorite hobby?
Yeah.
I guess making cakes and decorating them with my children.
Eat them if they're gluten-free? You make gluten-free cakes.
No, I make real cakes.
Yeah.
No, I'm not into I'm not one of those people.
Yeah, real or
It's like real or nothing.
Or nothing. Yeah.
Although here at Simon & Schuster, when I was signing books the other day, they got me by Chloe gluten-free chocolate chip cookies, and it was like the best thing I've ever eaten. It was so good. And my husband Mark makes amazing gluten-free chocolate chip cookies that are the best.
So you are kind of that person, but not full on.
I guess I am that person.
You go back and forth.
But I'm not making like a gluten-free, sugar-free cake. Is all I'm saying.
And
like
your
I'm
next
not.
book isn't going to be a cookbook about gluten and allergies.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
It might be. Let's not say no. Let's not say never.
It might be a cooking show.
We don't know.
Right.
We don't know what's going to happen.
So that tees up this question, number 14. Do you have any hidden talents?
I mean, my cake skills are really incredible. Like, I'm a really, really fantastic cake decorator. You can Google it and, like, see some. I haven't done a lot or posted them on Instagram in a really long time because I have no time to do it, and it's really time-consuming. And also, weirdly, like, my girls don't like it. Like, they don't like cake. I don't know who these people are. You know what I mean? Like, they're presenting themselves to me, and I'm just here to be like, okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But they don't like cake. So
All right.
They don't love cake.
All right. What color is your toothbrush?
It's rose gold.
Oh.
I have one of those ones that comes in the mail and they send you a new top every...
Like the vibrating one?
Yeah, I can't remember what they're called. Quip. I have quips. Quip. We have quips, and I have the rose gold one. And Birdie has the silver one, and Mark has the black one.
Cute. All right, what's your secret
And Cricket
snack?
has an Elmo toothbrush. My secret snack?
Yeah.
Everybody knows that I love cinnamon gummy bears. Those are my favorite things in the world. And then chips and salsa.
Love it. All right, how do you take your coffee if you drink it?
I do bulletproof coffee. So butter and oil in my coffee.
What's the last movie you saw in a theater?
I just saw A Star Is Born when it came out opening weekend.
Amazing.
Yeah.
What is the last gift you gave?
Wait, I just bought someone a present. Who did I buy a present for? Oh, tequila. I just bought my friend tequila for her birthday.
Love it.
It's kind of lame.
What cause is dear to your heart?
Cause?
Yeah.
Anything that has to do with children, and especially like underserved kids in our own communities. I am active in Los Angeles in 3 charities that I like participate in.
Cool.
Like in addition to just like giving money to, but so Baby to Baby, which helps
Yes.
a lot of families and kids in LA, in the LA area, and then also like all over the country. The Los Angeles Public Libraries Foundation, the Young Literati.
Cool.
My grandmother was a librarian, and so libraries are very important to me. I also believe that libraries are the great equalizer, because libraries don't care how much money you have or who you are, where you come from, or what country or what language you speak. They're there to give you information and to provide help for you to find things out. And all we need more of in this country is information.
And more libraries.
And more libraries.
They're the original internet.
They are. And librarians are wonderful, wonderful humans who just want to help you figure it out. So I do that. And then I do I volunteer with an amazing service or organization called Holly Grove, which provides mental health services to school-age kids who are in like an underserved community so that their parents wouldn't have access to these kinds of things otherwise.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
so
so
kids.
cool.
I'm like really
kids.
into kids and libraries.
Awesome.
Books.
Love it. And books. You're signing books today. If you want a signed copy of Busy's book, go to premiercollectibles.com/busy. Busy, thank you so much for answering all of my questions.
So many questions.
Many questions. Hashtag so many questions. Busy Phillips, it was so great chatting with you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This was fun.
It was fun. Go buy Busy's book.
Please buy it. I want to make that list or whatever.